let me show you what 50% backlash looks like now. So right now, I'm about to take 50% backlash, and behold, I am literally dead. Hey guys, what is up? AwesomeTheSauce here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and welcome to a video that I think it's about something that I don't think anybody really knows about, because they didn't really put it in the update test realm, no things for the update of the test realm. This is one of those like really like hidden things that I had that I feel it'll have a lot of consequences, so I thought I'd make a video on it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Shrike. It looks like Shrike got another gigantic nerf compared to how it used to be before. Before we even get into if this is a good thing or a bad thing, I think we should just go into Golem Court and we should test out what I'm saying. We should test out. It really is a very big nerf, and it's gonna change how PvP is played 100%. And I'm very surprised that so little has been said about this. Let's get right into it. So right now we're at full HP and we're gonna just cast a Shrike, right? So this is just something that you might do at any given time, and honestly, you won't really see the difference when I'm at full HP. Now, just for the sake of this, alright, you know that we start at 40. Let's say that I get into a scenario, just as a hypothetical, where I do something like, I don't know, Fire Beetle, and you'll notice that the backlash, like usual, like before, it'll only reduce by 10%. It used to go down by 20%, but I just want to show you guys that this part of Shrike, it's still the same. So right now, as you can see, the backlash is only reduced once. It is not reduced twice, right? There's no double reduction. If that part of Shrike is the same, the next thing I'm about to show you, which is different, is gonna seem kind of crazy. Alright, y'all, so now I've lost a little bit of HP, and I'm gonna show you something that, honestly, I didn't know existed for a little bit in Test Realm. So when you Shrike, normally you start off with 40% backlash, right? So now what I'm gonna do is raise my backlash to 50%. So what you would think, right, after I raise my backlash by casting a tower, what you would think is that 50% of my HP after the Shrike is over would be taken away from me, right? That's what you would think. But let me show you what 50% backlash looks like now. So right now, I'm about to take 50% backlash, and behold, I am literally dead. So backlash now isn't based on your current HP. It's based on your maximum HP. Now, there aren't a lot of spells that I can really think of comparing this to, other than maybe the way Bad Juju works right now. Bad Juju, the way that it works is it works off of your max HP and the percentage that it takes off of your health, instead of doing any sort of like damage that's relevant to your current health. Basically, this is a gigantic Shrike nerf. What this means is that if you're later into the game and you're lower on health, using a Shrike could actually be a death sentence instead of what it used to be, in the sense that it was a risk that you're going to lose some health, but you wouldn't necessarily die to the Shrike itself. Now, at first glance, I don't think it seems like that big of a nerf, because I do think that they are going in somewhat of a good direction, in the sense that I think the PvP meta right now is way too offensive. So making Shadow Hand spells do a little bit less in PvP, making Shrike a little bit more of a risk in PvP, making Shrike just a little less powerful in PvP. These are all things that you'd want. But to me, bro, this seems like an extreme reach in terms of nerfing Shrike. I think this is just way too much. Let's not forget why this spell really existed. This spell really exists because Jade Gear became such a problem that everyone was turtling. So basically, by putting in too much resist in the game, spells like this almost became needed within the PvP meta. So now, what happens when your most powerful spells are now weaker, and your most powerful ability to pierce someone is also somewhat of a death sentence? All this means is that if someone has a ward talent to you, they're probably going to have a very easy chance of beating you, because you can't Shrike repeatedly. And that what this means is that now, instead of the meta being too offensive, it runs a very large risk of being too defensive. And there's a reason why I showed you guys what Shrike does when you Fire Beetle. It doesn't matter if you do two things that Shrike likes in the same turn. It's been like this for months now. Even if you do that, that doesn't double reduce. So no matter what, unless you're using like a Daybreaker or a Nightbringer, you were almost guaranteed to take backlash from Shrike. Let's not forget, by the way, that Guardian Spirit is now no PvP. So all this really means is that if you wanted a Jade as like a turtle, basically. Like, and when I say turtle, I mean just literally just go full Jade, full tank, literally just cast a Guardian. You could essentially just spam mantles while someone's in Shrike and make them kill themselves if they even want to try to attack you. It's way too much of a cheesy way to win for me to get behind it. That's all I'm saying. I do think Shrike is unfortunately a little bit too powerful at the way that it is. I completely think it's too powerful. But I don't think that this is a way to make it less powerful. I think that it should be saved for the tool that it is without making it something that can so easily kill you. I don't think that this is a direction that's going to help PvP and the meta. One of the big things that I've always wanted, and I really wish that this was the direction they took things, I really think that either they need a resist cap or they need to make it so that you can't gain shadow pips in Shrike. If there were a resist cap, then changes to Shrike wouldn't be a problem, because not every match where people have super high resist would even necessitate having Shrike, right? You could do other things. You could infoul with like 40 pierce, and essentially you would be piercing through a lot of resist. You could work off of overtimes and stuff. There's a lot of things that you could do if there was like an 80% resist cap or 85% resist cap, like a lot of people want. The other thing is, if you want to make it so that Shrike isn't completely busted, make it so you can't gain shadow pips in Shrike. Then, with the new shadow gauge system, at least you would have to wait until you get 2 shadow pips before you Shrike and shadow hit. And you wouldn't be just spamming shadow hits in Shrike after that first shadow hit anyways. Even something that makes Shrike have a drawback stat-wise instead of the heal, like lowering your resist, lowering your block, lowering your crit maybe. Those kind of changes would even also be super helpful, because you can make Shrike less powerful without making it something that people with super high resist can exploit without even doing anything to hit you. Now, Guardian Spirit is changed now. It doesn't respond to Sanctuary. You can't crit it. It doesn't respond to your healing stats. You gain back 15% of your health after you get defeated. It does what the card finally says. Finally, that is actually what it's doing. But my concern is that Life Wizards can now just go full-on Jade in PvP. They can basically get a war talent to some of the more offensive schools. All they have to do when they see a Shrike is literally put on a brace and set shield spam. And if they get desperate, they can literally just dispel or mantle. And essentially, they would have to do nothing for you to die. I think the damage output is already being nerfed so much that I really don't see the point in nerfing Shrike as well. I mean, if it's needed, then why not save this for another update? Why make this Shrike update added on to the Shadow Spell nerf? That, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't really like where Shrike is currently, but I do think overshooting it would create one of the most toxic atmospheres in PvP for people just trying to have a normal game. It would push the meta completely towards people who are just jading and spamming heals and Guardian, and it would be a very unenjoyable playing experience, because you would be dying, not because your opponent's killing you, but because you're killing yourself trying to use a one tool that can actually give you a chance at winning. But yeah, guys, that's definitely the video for today. I definitely want to hear y'all's opinions. Do you think that this Shrike change makes sense? Do you think that they should do different things? Do you think maybe this change would make sense with double reducing being, like, available? Maybe that's the solution. Do you think maybe this change would be better if they actually see the effect of Shadow Enhanced spells being nerfed first? There's a lot of questions to be had here. I definitely think that now people are going to be much more careful about using Shrike, which I really like. The problem is, I also think this opens a door for certain strategies that are more abusive than they are strategic, and I'm very concerned about that. As always, y'all, drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a solid review. There's tons of links in the description, including my Twitch, my Twitter, my Discord, my Instagram, and my Patreon. Thank you for all the love on Patreon. I love you hoes. Thank you so much. But yeah, man, let me know y'all's opinions, and as always, if somebody is not told you're awesome today, they doing something wrong, so stay awesome. And yeah, yo.